Javon, happy Monday, my man.
Sure.
Big week this week for Behind the Lines. I think Ollie's asking for the link. Do you mind sending him that real quick on Twitter? Really excited for this week, my dude. We've got some really good guests, and we've got some good shit to talk about. I'm really excited. My weekend was great. I don't know what you were up to. I played some golf, very shittily, and I watched a bunch of college baseball, and I drank a lot of Tito's. I don't know where you're at right now. How was your weekend?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty good. I was just kind of chilling most of the weekend. Had to watch the Lightning advance the Stanley Cup, which is awesome because I'm still in Tampa and I will be for, probably at least the first couple games that are here. So that should be pretty fun. Looking forward to that a lot. But
Word.
baseball's pretty fun this weekend. Always love having the super regionals too to talk about. That's always super cool. But yeah, exciting weekend.
Ty France was doing Ty France things, but got absolutely robbed yesterday.
Yeah.
Just an absolute heartbreaker.
That sucked. That absolutely sucked to watch.
I know Lauren's super hyped about Texas. Yeah, Lauren. I'm glad somebody can make it. I'm bringing Ollie in real quick. Ollie, what's up, my man?
Yo.
How we doing?
Great. Feeling good.
Feeling good? Feeling dangerous? It's Monday, man. Got to get the energy up. Long week ahead of us, gentlemen. A lot of bets to be placed.
This is going to be a great week.
A lot of bets to be placed. Plenty of time. No excuses about rushing. We got the whole week to give out some winners. I'm really excited. I'm excited about what I saw from the Nats a little bit this weekend. A little bit of life. I think I saw a heartbeat out of the boys. And they've got a big series this week against the Braves. And I'm not saying we're about to go on a run and make the playoffs. We're definitely not going to do that. But we're only, 60 games in. So would like to see us be a little more competitive. Javon, let me get a little Rays update. And then Ollie, obviously give me your Red Sox update. How we feeling?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I really like what I'm seeing from the Rays offense. I like what I saw this weekend against the Twins, and we usually struggle in Minnesota, which we didn't play great, I would say, but the offense is getting going a little bit, which is pretty important coming up with these next, week or so where we're playing Yanks twice, but we also have, the Orioles and Pirates, which are very winnable series, so love to see that. Love to see Randy get going right before Wander comes back, hopefully, so I have hope.
Dude, I love Randy Rosarina. That dude is awesome.
Watching him run the base.
Swag hound.
Absolute spirit.
It's scary. It's scary. It reminds me of my buddy on my men's league softball team. Very, very similar comparison. He runs like he's running away from a freaking goblin or some shit. I'm like, dude, relax. We're playing men's league softball. And he's around the bases in like 12 seconds. He runs like he's running away from a monster. And that's the kind of guy you want on your base path. That's the kind of guy you want on your team. And yes, I did just compare Randy Rosarina to a buddy on my men's league team. 100%. I'll do that comp again. And guess who didn't do laundry this weekend because he was too busy watching sports? And guess who's wearing his Redskins jersey because he doesn't have any more clothes? This guy right here. Right here. So great start to the week. Rocking my Tressway jersey. Not a great start for my Commanders, though. Apparently, Terry McLaurin is going to be missing minicamp, which is great. So add that to the list of bullshit. And our defensive coordinator is an absolute moron. I don't know if you heard his comments, but what an idiot. What an idiot. Did you guys hear what he said or no?
No, what did he say?
He was talking about the freaking Capitol stuff that happened with people storming the Capitol. And he's like, it was just a dust up. I'm like, bro, first of all, let's talk about football and focus on that because the team stinks. Second of all, if you have opinions, just keep them to yourself because you're looked up to on the team. You're supposed to be a coach, and you're saying stupid shit like that. So, unbelievable. He got fined $100K. Probably should have gotten fired.
Asking for it at this point. I feel like
what an idiot.
They just find it. That organization just finds a new way to get in the headlines. Dude, every other week.
You're more than welcome to have your own opinions and stuff. I really don't give a shit. But just keep it to yourself, dude. When you say that, it's just not going to go well. There's just no way. It can't. It absolutely can't. And this guy, I don't know how to even say this guy's name, but big brand move. He did laundry while watching college baseball. How about that? That's what I should have done, but I was too locked in. Watching my Hokies break my heart. Typical. Typical. The number 4 team in the country goes down to an unranked team in Oklahoma. That shit only happens to Virginia Tech. Although Tennessee did go down too. 2 of the best teams in the country went down this week in college baseball. If that doesn't sum up what college baseball is and how spontaneous it is and how random it is and how streaky some of these teams can be, I don't know what does. That was unexpected for sure. But gosh, I don't even know who to say is the front runner to win the whole thing at this point. I really don't know. I don't know. Javon, do you have any takes?
Well, probably from the middle of the season to, I don't know, probably until the tournament started, I was really high on Oklahoma just because I'm a Big 12 guy and I've been watching them. So they've been on a ridiculous run. Their offense has been amazing. Their pitching has been outstanding.
Yeah, they have.
But yeah, they went on a really big run to that the end of the season. And I was saying to a lot of my friends who were TCU guys, I was saying that the only team that had a chance to win that conference other than us was them. So they went on that huge run. They won the tournament. They're continuing that run into the actual NCAA tournament. So, I mean, I definitely could see them or Notre Dame winning it because it's college baseball. So at the end of the day, it's the hottest team wins.
Hot hand.
They can't be stopped right now. So they're playing out of their minds, both of them.
At this point, like all the teams remaining are so good, any of them could win. They all have the talent to at this point. So I'm with you, dude. The hot hand's going to win. All these teams are legit going forward. There's 2 games today we'll get to a little later. I know Ollie doesn't have all day, and he's more of an MLB guy. Ollie, how are your Red Sox looking? Who do you guys play this week? And do you like anything in the game? Let's cut the shit and get right to it.
Yeah, well, they don't play today.
Okay.
Good weekend. Took 2 out of 3 against the Mariners.
Sure.
Good West Coast trip in general. 3 out of 4 against the Angels and 3 out of 3 against the A's. So what's that like? 2 losses on the West Coast trip. That is great news. Usually you take 500 on those trips, no matter who they're against. So feeling good about that. This is the part of the season where they needed to make up ground. I think it was after the first week of May. I said if they can get back to 500 by the end of June, I'd call that a win, and you'd be right back in the thick of things. They're 3 games above 500 midway through June. So they've surpassed my expectations after a pathetic start. Oakland A's come to town this week, so we get another cupcake here.
Oh, my gosh.
There's like a 40 or 50 game stretch here where it's a very, very favorable schedule dating back to like mid-May up until the end of June. And, I mean, other teams in the division, like the Yankees have played the Orioles like 12, 13 times already. But granted, don't get me wrong, the Yankees are the best team in baseball. But the Red Sox had a brutal start. They played the Yankees, they played the Rays, they played the Jays, they played all those big powerhouses to start and were playing terrible, so it didn't go well. Now they're playing good. They're beating up on these crappy teams that they should be beating up on. And they're even, they took 2 out of 3 against the Astros a couple weeks ago. I feel good about them right now. I'm a little concerned about the health because Whitlock just went to the IL, although he hasn't been good as a starter. I've been saying this for a long time. Put Whitlock as a closer. He's your best weapon out of the bullpen. Put him at closer this year. They haven't done that. They tried to make him starter. He stunk, and now he's hurt. Uvalde just went on the IL. That is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been the guy. He's been really good this year. His really only problem has been the home run ball. Outside of that, he's been really good. So those 2 things hurt, but the other guys have been picking up slack. We saw a gem from Cutter Crawford of all people yesterday. I mean, I thought that over was a slam dunk between Robbie Ray, who went out and pitched his best game of the year, and Cutter Crawford, who had like a 80 ERA in the majors and like a 70 ERA in the minors, went out and pitched 5 or 6 scoreless. Unreal. In the bullpen, everybody comes back to the Red Sox take first 5 because I don't trust the bullpen. Well, I got news for you. The bullpen's got some studs. It really does. I like the bullpen. I still wish Whitlock was there. But ever since Houck went to the bullpen, been a beast. Reinvented a slider a bit. Hansel Robles is back. I know we choked up the game the other day, but he's been good this year, especially against the Yankees and better teams. Austin Davis People don't know this guy. They traded Michael Chavis for him last year to the Pirates. He's been a beast against lefties in general. Austin Davis is a stud. I like the Red Sox bullpen. You ever heard of John Schreiber? Because I didn't until 2 months ago, but the dude's unhittable. I mean, he's let up one run this year, for crying out loud. And Matt Strahm, under the radar signing, he's been good. Jake Diekman's been up and down. I mean, the only bums you got on the bullpen right now were Sala and Brazier, and those guys just pitch during, when you need innings in a blowout or some shit. So I feel good about the Red Sox, man. Maybe I'm an optimist, but I really like where they're at.
Yeah, hey, it's good to be an optimist, or you could be like me and just be a sad, lowly depressed DC sports fan and just complain about it. I think you're probably taking the right approach. Yeah, no, I don't blame it. I mean, you guys have some random McGees who are stepping up. We'll see how long that lasts. Usually doesn't, but you never know. You never know. Yeah, I don't know who the heck that guy was who started yesterday for you guys, but the under in that game should have been the lock of the century. I don't know what we were doing. Like, I know you were on the over, Ollie. It made a ton of sense, right? But, like, I mean, we should have known that game was going under with how much the over made sense. So that one's on me. That one's on me. I should have saw that one, right off the bat. With how easy that over looked, should have known that shit was going 2-0. Robbie Ray pitched another good game and losing. Feel bad for the guy. He stinks, though. I think we can all agree he stinks. But he gave it his best shot. I want to talk about professional lacrosse for about 3 seconds because I know people don't care. But guys, if I'm giving out a lacrosse bet, you should take it because they hit. Javon can second that. I know you guys don't love betting on lacrosse, whatever, yada yada yada. Grow up, get hip. It's selected a button on the screen and it hits. So if I'm giving it out, you should think about betting it. And you could bet it on BetMGM. You could bet it on frickin' Caesars. You could bet it on DraftKings. Those are 3 books right there. You can bet it with your bookie. That's 4. Boom. I don't want to hear any more complaining about not giving out winners if you're not taking my frickin' lacrosse plays. As ridiculous as that sounds. No lacrosse today, guys. It's only on the weekends. But stay posted. When I give out a lacrosse play, maybe think about taking it. I'm not holding you at gunpoint. Maybe thinking about taking it because it's probably going to smack. The lines are soft. They're soft. So keep that in mind. Gosh, what else do we have going on? The NL East. Welcome to the party. The NL East is here. They're starting to win baseball games, which is good for baseball. That's supposed to be a very competitive division. We got the Mets who are holding on for dear life right now, still winning games, coasting. They need their two starters back. They need DeGrom and Scherzer back now. They are coasting. They need their guys back. They're holding on for dear life. They're up 5.5 games on the Braves, who have won 11 in a row. They're absolutely cooking. This is the Braves team we all expected. They're doing the same shit that they did last year when they went on the run and then won the World Series. They're doing it again. They started out like shit last year too, and they went on to win the whole thing. So they're coming. They're right in the rearview mirror of the Mets. If I was the Mets, I'd be absolutely shaking in my boots. Because we know the Mets are going to Met. Just a matter of time. And then we got the Phillies, who are 9 games out. They won like 9 games in a row. I think they lost last night, but the Phillies are showing life. Since they fired their manager, they ripped off 9 wins in a row. Insane. Absolutely insane. And then the Marlins, since they held their little team meeting, they've been on fire too. And I know they lost last night too, but they're 11 games out respectively. We're not even going to talk about the Nats. The NL East is here. Who do you guys think at the end of the whole thing, who's winning? Who's winning this division?
I mean, it's tough to say, but I think when it comes down to it, the Mets are going to get it done. Honestly, I think the Phillies will end up overtaking the Braves by the end of it, but both of them will be in the running for that wild card spot, or one of them. I just think when the Mets get healthy, because, I mean, they're doing it even without being fully healthy, without DeGrom, without Scherzer. I know they have some additional losses that are just coming through. But they're getting it done. They're getting it done on multiple fronts, and I think that continues, especially with their schedule towards the back half of the season. It's not terribly challenging, if I remember correctly. But, yeah, there's a lot of opportunity for them to come through. I think the Phillies, yes, they're hot. I think they'll definitely give them a run and maybe overtake them at some point, but I think it's the Mets division at this point, and it will be in the future.
I think the Mets will Mets, but I want to hear what Ollie's got to say.
I also think the Mets will Mets. I'm just not a believer in that lineup for a full year, or the bullpen rather. Even though Diaz has been electric lately, he still is Edwin Diaz and will Edwin Diaz at times, and he looks like the best closer in baseball half the time, and the other half the time he can't throw a strike to save his life. So at the end of the day, I think the Braves come out on top. They're finally healthy. They're finally hitting, and Ronald Acuña is back. I mean, talk about a dude that got a little shaky, but he's back. I mean, the dude is on an absolute heater right now, and ever since he got hot, they haven't lost. Matt Olson's no Freddie Freeman. Don't get me wrong. I still think Freddie is the better all-around ball player, but Matt Olson is one of the best first basemen in the league. Austin Riley is one of the more underrated players in baseball. They've got William Contreras hitting tanks. Travis d'Arnaud somehow still going. It's going to come down to the pitching. Can Ian Anderson take this next step? I'm not an Ian Anderson believer, but at the end of the day, I think the Braves, they have enough firepower. They have enough experience, I think, to get past that. And the Mets, they're just not going to stay healthy enough. DeGrom hasn't thrown a pitch this year. Scherzer's, we don't even know when he's coming back. Now he's got hamstring problems. God, bless those guys. But, and I don't believe in the Phillies. I'm sorry. I know they got hot after this firing, but long term, I still think that team has way too many flaws. They're the worst fielding team in the league. They have no bullpen at all. Their rotation is extremely top heavy. Kyle Gibson and Zach Eflin need to give you 200 innings, good innings to make the playoffs. I don't believe in them. They're going to mash, don't get me wrong, but they're going to make 4 errors a game and let up 6 runs a game. I think it's unsustainable. Their hot streak was great while it lasted, but I don't think the Phillies have it long term either.
Yeah. I'm with you on the Phillies. I think the Mets will Mets. Ollie, I agree with you pretty much everything you said. Right now, I'm looking at the odds. I like the Braves to win the division. At weirdly low odds at plus 255. I think they get going. The Mets are minus 245 to win the division. If you're taking that, call the number. That's just the worst bet of all time. Honestly, you're probably better off going with the Braves or the Phillies at plus 1,400. The Nats have some value at plus 100K. That's some serious value right there.
Serious value. I also, maybe not this year, but that Marlins team is fun, man. That rotation, we've talked about it all year. The rotation is up there for the best in baseball, no questions asked. And surprisingly, if you dive into the numbers, that team actually kind of mashes righties on the road. I don't know what it is, but, I mean, they put up 4 against Verlander the other day. They absolutely destroyed Luis Garcia. That team can actually hit against right-handed pitching on the road. They are very vulnerable against lefties because, I think Garrett Cooper's a reverse splits guy this year, and Jazz Chisholm obviously can't hit a lefty to save his life. Jorge Soler is what he is at this point in his career. He's going to hit 460-foot rockets but strike out 3 times a game. But the Marlins are a fun, pesky team. I wish guys like J.J. Bleday down in their farm system had turned out better, because if he was up right now and is what he was supposed to be, that team would probably be exciting, kind of like Alek Thomas out there in Arizona. But he just hasn't panned out. I don't know if the Marlins can make a push this year. They would definitely to be buyers, which I don't see them being. But next year, I think the Marlins are going to they're going to make that division at least a 4-team race next year. Sorry, Nats. I mean, the Nats need to reload to make it 5 teams.
Yeah. It is what it is. I think the Marlins need to show me more at the plates, like them being a good right-handed pitching, road hitting team. That's just not going to cut it.
No, not at all.
That's just reaching a little bit. They need to get the bats going. We know their rotation is going to be great for the next 5 years, and they're not paying those guys shit yet. So they have a serious opportunity right now to go out and get some bats and maybe spend some money and be a real team. They don't scare me at all at the plate, at all. They scare me on the mound, 1,000%. But they need more consistency. They need some veterans. If they can go out and get a guy this offseason, maybe 2, look out for them winning a wild card going forward for the next couple of years.
Well, and that's the reason why Jeter left, right? Because he wanted to go out and sign guys like Castellanos right now.
Yep.
And I'm the last guy on the planet to defend Derek Jeter, but he was right there. He saw the opportunity that you're talking about, young stud pitching. Let's go out and sign Castellanos. Go get Jorge Soler or someone like that, bring him in. And now they brought in Soler, but they didn't bring in Castellanos because he was too much. And I think there were a couple other guys I can't remember off the top of my head who they wanted to go out and get, but they didn't go out and get. And Derek Jeter said, you know what? I'm not sitting around here waiting to spend money. I wanted to win. And after selling everybody away, he was like, it's time to rebuild. We got this young, cheap pitching staff, and they didn't do it. So he left.
Yeah, Derek Jeter said, F this. I'm going to go on Twitter and start trolling some people. I don't got time for this shit. If you don't follow Derek Jeter on Twitter, definitely worth the follow. He's been geeking me the last 2 weeks since he made his Twitter. Do you guys think this Marlins Phillies line is a little weird? I don't know. I feel like Sandy Alcantara is like the trendiest pitcher, at least in the NL right now. Everyone's pretty hip at this point, right? And now he's going against Aaron Nola, who, I mean, we know what Aaron Nola is, right? He'll pitch 4 great innings and then give up an inning where he gives up 5 runs and looks like he forgot how to pitch. Do you think it's a little weird to see the Phillies at minus 135 here against one of the best young arms who people are saying is going to win the NL Cy Young? Or do you think this is priced right with how hot the Phillies, and honestly both teams have been? But do you think that's just the Phillies bats? That's why this is priced here? Do you think it's a little off? What is your head at with this game?
I think for me, I think it's a little off, but not too much to where I'm like, I got to take the Phillies. Like Sandy is one of the trendiest arms, like you said, but I think the main reason for this price is how hot the Phillies bats have been. I think we've looked at them in a ton of different spots. Sandy under K's absolute right there. But I think we've looked at them in a ton of spots like over this however many games they've won in a row, and it's just they keep beating the lines, they keep beating their regression spots, and I think this is another situation here where I definitely lean towards the Phillies, but I don't think that line is too incredibly strange where I'm like instantly got to hammer the Phillies. I definitely lean that way, though, I would have to say. But, I mean, I can't blame anybody for taking the value on a game that's potentially a coin flip game with Sandy on the mound. So, I mean, I can't hate anybody for that either.
Couldn't agree more. I definitely lean Phillies with that line, but do I want to fade Sandy again after watching what he did to the Nats the other day? Goodness gracious.
God, no.
Goodness gracious. That dude was a freak. He might not have had 100 strikeouts, but, I mean, he had enough to hit his prop. Took him 9 innings. But
so to be on the opposite side of that, I really like the Marlins there at that line.
Okay.
Is a little weird, yeah, but I think there are much weirder lines out there today. And spoiler alert, I think this is the sketchiest slate we've seen in weeks. These lines are scary.
Let's go.
Picking a side today. Yeah, Sharps are grubbing today. Sharps are grubbing today for sure. It's
Dude, I'm
scary, man.
I'm starving.
And just because Sharps scrub doesn't mean that favorites grub or underdogs grub. Phillies are going to be a sharp play today.
Yep.
And but that being said, I'm not betting on this game. There's too many variables on both sides. How do the Phillies respond after getting their doors beat off after that long winning streak? I don't know, but a lot of the numbers that I like to use point to the Marlins thriving here today. Like I said, they hit righties well on the road. Nola's worse at home this year, which is not his career, so that's weird. Sandy's absolutely shoved in his career in Philadelphia. I think he's like 3-1 in 4 starts with like a 1.6 ERA in his career. That's not just this year. There's a lot of numbers that do point to the Marlins, but the line is a little weird to me. Not super weird, a little weird. And the most importantly, I'm scared to bet against the Phillies after losing by 12 runs after that hot streak. I don't know how they're going to respond to that. So I'm personally off this game.
I think I am too, honestly, because you made some great points there, Ollie. Are the Phillies, as this much of a favorite, the sharp play against one of the trendiest, best young arms in the NL? For sure. That's definitely the sharp side. But, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. The Marlins hit great on the road. Nola kind of stinks at home. Like there's enough for me here where I'm getting great insight on both sides. So this is a stay away from me, in my opinion. We got a Phillies fan, my guy Phil's Utley in here though. Phils can't hit scrubs, but nuke elite pitchers like Sandy. Okay, well maybe I will be back on the Phils. God damn it. Yeah, I need to dig into this one a little bit more. But nobody knows the Phils more than that guy.
My obsession with right-handed pitching away. I think it's important to look at every split you can. Right-handed pitching away, right-handed pitching at home, left-handed pitching away, left-handed pitching at home. Like such an ESPN stat. I don't know if I agree with that. I get all my data from Fangraphs. I don't look at anything on ESPN. The under is the play. I think the under is the square play here. I actually kind of think this game goes over. It's a low line. The bullpens are sketchy. The Marlins bullpen's not that good. The Phillies bullpen we know is not good. Yeah. You need like 7 or 8 innings from each starter here for this game to go under, in my honest opinion. I think this is just one of the biggest stay-away games on the board. I think there's a lot of stay-away games on the board today.
Honestly, the whole board could be stay-away games at this point.
But I actually think there's only one side I'm thinking about betting today.
All right, well, Ollie, let me know because I know you don't want to stay on here the whole time, but you're more than welcome to. We got you trapped last time you came on, and you're more than welcome to stay the whole time. But if you want to give your pitch on what play you like today, please go ahead. I got to run to the bathroom real quick, but let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Well, Falafel Waffle says Fade Ollie is back. Let's go. I went 6-0 on Saturday, up 7 units. So let me know how fading me went that day. And my original card yesterday went 3-0. So I'm actually feeling pretty damn good right now. It is Mitch Keller day. I'm not betting on the Pirates, though. The one side, Javon, I like today is the Twins.
Yes.
Is the Twins. It's fade. More importantly, more so than Mitch Keller day, it's fade Chris Flexen day. And I'm not one to bat Chris Archer, but coming off getting shut out, going over to Seattle. Now I'm waiting on the lineup for the Twins in this game because they've been pretty unpredictable with their lineups lately.
Yeah.
But if they have a healthy lineup today, I really like the Twins. I actually, if I do bet them, will be -1.5, not just the money line.
Yeah, that's fair. I haven't looked at their numbers for run lines, but off the top of my head, I think that's one of the decent lines for the teams. But I mean, I'm definitely with you on the Twins. Honestly, my read on that game was honestly a fade of the Mariners offense instead of a fade of Flexen, just because everybody not named Ty France in that lineup can't hit a slider to save their lives. And that's Chris Archer throws that almost half of his pitch arsenal. He's like 45%, something like that. So, I mean, I like the spot for him to deal. He's been pitching really well as of recently, and I don't like to back a guy to kind of continue a good outlier start, but he's been pitching a lot better. The sliders had a lot of good command that we haven't seen since, his prime days with the Rays. So, I mean, I like that spot for them. I think the Mariners offense is going to struggle on the slider a lot. I think that's going to be the deciding factor in this game.
Yeah, 2 things. Number one, Chris is winning this game 100%. I'm with you guys. There's my capitalized dad joke.
Wait, which Chris? Which Chris?
Yeah,
oh, okay. You're being okay.
Oh my God, Ollie, come on, dude. That shit went zink.
It did. It's early. It's Monday.
All right, no, that's on me. That was just
I've been grinding all morning.
Joke. That's on me. Number 2, Lauren, I know you're in chat. Where are you taking Trent out on this date? I'm not letting people forget that you owe him a date. That was the most liked comment. So let us know where you're taking him. Are you guys going to Cabo? Are you thinking maybe Mexico? Where are you about to take this man? Because he earned it. Javon, college baseball, 2 games today. What are we thinking? Is there anything you like? So let me give a background. There's 2 games today. Winner advances. We got UConn and Stanford, and UConn was probably my favorite dog of the super regionals to get out because I think Stanford is a little overvalued. I think the same could be said with Oregon State, though, too. I think they're a little overrated, too. They have one of the softer schedules in the entire, college baseball this season. They don't play in a really tough conference. Auburn sure as hell does. Could you see Auburn at +125 make it some noise today, or potentially UConn sitting at +1.5 at +120, or you say cut the shit, I'm going right for the heart, +190 on the ML? One of these 2 dogs has to win today, in my opinion. Do you like anything in these games?
Honestly, so the thing that I think both dogs have a shot, absolutely, but I think I need to see the starting pitching situation a little more, um, particularly with Auburn, just because I don't know who's going to go out for them and for how long. I guess same for Oregon State because they had Herjerpe or however you say his name get pulled pretty quickly, so I don't know what their pitching situation is going to be like that. But yeah, I think both of these have a pretty good shot to advance, in my opinion. I think UConn, for them to win, they're going to have to beat them in a pretty low scoring game. So if you like them, I'd probably go with the under if you're taking multiple bets in the same game. But yeah, I think Auburn has a really good chance. The bats are going. I know it's hard to fade Oregon State because they're the team that's been there. That game probably honestly goes over, but it's tough. I definitely need to see the starting pitching situation because that's a pretty big determining factor for all these games, honestly.
Yeah. Do you think these guys will be nervous and we see some lower scoring games? I know you mentioned you like that over, though. My mindset in games like this where both teams are going to be tight, I automatically lean under in these games. These are college kids. A lot of them haven't been here before. This is the biggest game they'll ever play in their entire career. So I automatically think that they go up to the plate a little tight, although the pitchers could be nervous too, but I think it affects the hitters more, in my opinion. The total's sitting pretty low for a college baseball game in the second game, 11.5. I feel like we've seen a lot of totals around 15. I know we've seen a 9.5 this weekend. We've seen a 10.5, but that's pretty low. I lean under, I think, in that one. But I don't know about Connecticut and Stanford. I mean, those guys absolutely mash. Absolutely mash. And we know UConn's ace pitched last night, although he got absolutely roughed up, which is pretty funny. Yeah.
But yeah, I think especially for that later game, because I think they were planning on having Herjerpe go for a little longer than he did. I know they only used one bullpen pitcher after that. He kind of let them ride for the rest of it, but I got to see how they're going to plan on managing their bullpen for that game. And I mean, I think it's going to be a bullpen game in general from what I'm seeing. But yeah, I think Oregon State, they're the team that's been there. So if you're going to trust anybody to score runs, it's probably going to be them, especially coming off of a game where they didn't have the greatest offensive performance yesterday. Same with Auburn. But yeah, I think UConn, like I said, for them to win, they're going to have to beat them in a low-scoring slugfest. Mm-hmm. But I think it's kind of the opposite for the other game.
Okay. Let's shift back to MLB. I know that's what the people really want to hear. This Nats line today, I thought was a little weirdly low with how poorly Josiah Gray has pitched at home. And we're seeing some serious reverse line movement here. I'm shocked to see the line where it is now. I mean, are you guys Ian Anderson believers? I think he's better than his numbers show this year. Ollie, you're definitely not. You're shaking your head. What do you think about this guy? You're not?
No, I'm not a believer. I think he hasn't improved his control enough this year, his command, and that until he really cuts down on the walks and stops leaving turkeys over the plate, I'm going to be fading him. He's just not consistent enough. But Josiah Gray has been terrible at home, and so have the Nats in general this year. So, again, another stay-away game for me. Before I hop off, though, I just wanted to – I know this wasn't on our schedule, but the U.S. Opens this week, big tournament, especially with all the LIV guys should be over here too. Phil, Bryson, DJ, those guys that went to the LIV should be here for the most part. I'm going on Saturday. I'm excited. Side note,
awesome.
the kid's hot in golf right now. I'm coming off up 5 units this past weekend, up 14 the week before. We're feeling good. Hitting a lot of my placement bets lately. I don't have anyone to target right now, but if you're planning on betting the U.S. Open, those fairways, I've seen some videos, you are going to get penalized for good tee shots. I'm talking drives in the middle of the fairway are going to end up in the water because those slopes have been crazy. So
holy smokes, where are they
just
playing?
Right off? They're playing at the Country Club in Brookline, in Massachusetts.
Okay, so you're definitely going. That's sick.
So yeah, I'm going on Saturday. It's going to be sick. It's going to be fun, and avoid guys that can't hit a fairway.
Okay.
Don't bet on Cam Smith this weekend, Dilberto, because he's not going to play well. Don't bet on Bryson this weekend because he's not going to play well. But there are going to be guys to target. I haven't dug into it too deep yet. I'm looking forward to it. And I wish Tiger was playing because it would have been sick to see him. He's not. Bryson is an LIV, so don't worry. It doesn't matter. It's a major. They can come play. That's my point. Bryson will be there. Patrick Reed will probably be there. DJ will probably be there. All those guys will be there.
Sure.
So, and you talked about it last week. The difference between majors and these regular tournaments are that the majors are not run by the PGA Tour. They're run by, outside companies. And that counts for this one in the U.S. Open. So they're going to be able to play in it. They're going to get heckled. They're going to get booed, all that shit. We know Bryson doesn't handle that well just from being, bullied by Brooks fans over the years and that whole thing. So I'm looking forward to it. If you guys don't even like golf, I know most people don't really care about it, but the majors are definitely cash machines, cash cows, and your boy's been pretty hot with it. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because usually when you talk about how well you're seeing the board is when it starts to go the other way. But for now, I'm feeling good.
Okay, and you'll have some plays for us later in the week.
Yeah, so I record a podcast Tuesday night. It drops, and then all the picks are out on Wednesday. I do a podcast because there's so much analysis that goes into it. I can't do write-ups that long, so you can just listen to me and a couple of my buddies ramble on for an hour or so. And
where can people find that podcast?
That's in my Twitter bio, but it's also at 2 under par. Ironically, all our career best rounds are 2 under par, so it worked out nice. And that's where we go over all the analysis and everything. So we're looking forward to that. And for the board today, like I said, baseball in general, I think it's super, super sketchy this week or today anyways. So best of luck if you go crazy. I'm going super light today with my card. I'll probably have like I said, maybe I might be on the Twins lineup depending, but there is like 1 or 2 overs that I like that I'll go over on Trent Stream in a little bit once I confirm that I'm on them.
Awesome. Well, you kind of blueballed us with gassing up the major this weekend with no picks, but I'll be patient.
I don't have a pick yet. I told you.
Okay. Hey, you can't force.
I'm definitely avoiding Cam Smith, though, Dilberto. I'm sorry. I know you're a big Cam Smith guy, but guys that are sporadic off the tee and can't hit a fairway, I'm definitely avoiding this week.
Okay. Well, Ollie, I'm looking forward to see what plays you got, my man. I'm just going to blindly tail because there's no research that I could do. They would probably give out better picks in golf than just taking your bets. So let me know what you take. Let me know when they're out so I can gas them up on here so people can check them out. I wish Alberto was on stream today, guys. He's in Chicago. He's traveled. He's about to go to Wrigley Field for the first time. So let's get some W's in chat for Ollie coming on here during work. Big corporate guy over there. And let's give some W's in chat to Dilberto going to Wrigley Field, where if you guys haven't been there yet, unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. If you haven't been to Wrigley Field or Fenway Park in your life, you got to go. Those are 2 trips you got to make because those parks are, if you're an MLB guru like us, got to make the trip.
And if you ever go to Fenway Park, let me know because I'll make an excuse to go up to there any day of the week. So Cam 100%. Smith would like a word. Sorry, Dilly. I don't know if you saw him this past weekend, but the dude was struggling. Like I said, my lunch break's over, so I'm going to get back to work. But I will be tuning in, listening to the rest of the show. And good luck today, boys.
Appreciate it. You too.
We are going to have my guy, John Hislop, come on here in about 20 minutes. So be patient. Really, really excited to talk with him. I know he's a big prop guy, too. So, Javon, if you want to hang around and pick his brain on how he goes over his props, I think that'd be a good combo to have, too.
Yeah. Sure.
Because I think he's pretty prop heavy for his bets. I know he writes all his articles about it, but super stoked to have him on later and to have Ollie on. I wish we could have had Dilberto on and have all the OGs, but we'll take what we can get. These corporate MFs, they got to do their job. They got to work. Someone's got to pay the bills, Someone's got to make some money for Mrs. Ollie, take her out to dinner. Someone's got to do it. Okay. Any other baseball lines that you guys thought were sketch? Chat, any Krabs lines you guys are seeing in MLB? I see a couple, but I want to see how sharp you guys are feeling today. Let me know if there's any sus lines you're seeing, because I see a couple. Javon, any games you want to talk about?
Yeah, so More of a prop. I kind of want to talk about this Astros Rangers game.
Sure.
So usually in my analysis of hitting props, I try to generally avoid looking at pitcher versus hitter individual matchups. Not that they don't mean anything, but if you take them, like if you think that they mean too much, it kind of devoids the whole thing. But in this situation, there's one player who hits really well off of Christian Javier, and a lot of them are against him this year. And overall, he's been kind of the same pitcher as far as pitch arsenal goes around his whole career. So the last 2 years, he's hitting 7 of 10 off him with 3 bombs. So this is Cole Calhoun, who will be taking his over 1.5 total bases today for plus 125. And the important thing here with Calhoun that I see is Christian Javier is a 60% fastball guy, and Cole Calhoun does not hit the fastball well at all, but he hits his well, which is important because that's a combination of spin rate. It's a combination of all the metrics that make up a fastball. So for some reason, he sees his really, really well. And he's not just sitting on the breaking ball. He's hit a few off the breaking ball, but he's hitting his fastball well. So I think this is a really good look for him today, especially in a game where the over-under set at 9. It's going to be a battle with the trash cans, it looks like, on both mounds. So I think he's in a really good spot today. He's been given a lot of power to that Rangers lineup. He's been hitting a little better as of recently as well. And I just love the spot for him today. I think he definitely has a good chance to go yard. I mean, he's done it 3 times in 10 at-bats. But, yeah, I think this is one of the rare spots where I really, really take serious the guy's pitcher versus hitter individual stats, because I think it's going to mean something today.
Well, yeah, whatever you're taking, I'm locking in for a unit. I don't care what it is or what the reasoning is, but that was a great pitch.
This is one like a Ty France that's only a straight bet, because I mean Cole Calhoun's never offered on Prize Picks anyway, so it's not just like Ty France and that he's not offered today. But yeah, I mean I think in general, I've started to explore it a little more, just value on the books. Because, I mean, if you're taking a guy's 1.5 total bases, you're getting plus money almost every time. So, especially for a guy in Cole Calhoun, he hits a good amount of extra base hits as well. He has a solid ratio. I think it's fantastic value on that today.
I'm with you. That guy's been one of the biggest surprises of the season, in my opinion. He's had a great year.
Yeah.
He's had a great year at the plate.
He was looking really – I mean, I was hearing it from a lot of my Ranger friends. He was god-awful to begin the year for the first, half month or so, maybe even the full month.
Mm-hmm.
Then he really, as that Rangers offense honestly starting to slip a little bit, he was the one that kept them afloat. He was hitting home runs. I think they in that one Yankees series where they didn't score like any runs, he was one of the main contributors, and he began to pick it up, and he's kept them afloat. And now that Semion's, back with production, and Seager's doing a little bit, he's doing enough. And then they got guys like Jonah Heim giving them production, Eli White, Cole Calhoun's right in the mix. So, I mean, I think he's in a pretty good spot here, and probably for the foreseeable future too.
Yeah, I would love to see more out of this Rangers team. I know there's more in there. I would love to see some more production. I'm sure you agree as well. Yeah, we're not talking about the Virginia Tech Chokies in chat, guys. We're done with them. We're done. The most VT thing of all time was to lose that series. Give me a break. They have like 4 professional players on their team, and they couldn't pull out a fucking series against an unranked team. Give me a break. That's the most VT shit of all time. Still one of 2 Power 5 schools without a team national championship, and that will probably carry on forever. Us in Kansas State. So I think this Cubs line is super, super sketch. You got Jordan Steele, who, I mean, he's coming off a pretty darn good start, but give me a break. Jordan Steele, a lefty, which the Padres love hitting lefties. That's the talk of the town the last couple months, right? They love hitting these lefties, and they do. Their stats are way better. But Yu Darvish is on the mound, and he's been looking really sharp recently. And Yu Darvish is only minus 127, minus 130 against the Cubs and Steele. Give me a break. This line is super sketch. What's your take on this one?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a weird line. Like, I get the fact that Darvish is not the same pitcher on the road, but this is, like you said, a Padres lineup that kills lefties. And Justin Steele, like, the one upside that I think you see is that Justin Steele has beat a lot of teams that are good against lefties. Like, for the Cardinals, for example, he beat them on Sunday Night Baseball. He had a really good start. So I think even with the line movement as well, I think the Cubs kind of look like the play here. I'm not sure if I'll be playing it myself, but it looks like the play. Got an over-under of 9 as well. Runs are going to be scored. Cubs offense has been up and down as of late, I believe. So I think I like them in a good spot to get it going here today. I do, however, like Manny Machado a lot in this matchup. I think he has a good day. But like I said, over-under at 9, a lot of runs. That doesn't have to mean the Padres win the game. But yeah, it's definitely a Krabs-ish line.
For sure. It's crabby for sure. Machado looks so comfortable out there right now. He looks locked in. For him being locked in, it's not like most players. Like you could tell Machado's locked in when he's taking soft swings and the ball is finding gaps. When he's, looking slow motion at third base but making a crazy play. Like the guy is so nonchalant. He's locked in. Very similar to Anthony Rendon, but better. They're very similar players in my opinion, where they're very, very slow, lackadaisical. People will, come for their effort, but gosh, the results are there. And Machado looks great this season. I'm not saying I'm a Machado guy. I used to root for him when he was back on the Orioles, only good player on the team. And then there was talks that he's a little dirty of a player. He doesn't hustle, whatever, yada, yada, yada. I like the way he's playing right now, and I like those cool sunglasses that he's wearing with the rest of the league. I don't know if you've noticed them, but they're all wearing those cool like speed shades that are all multicolored. So that seems to be the new cool thing this year in MLB, and he's at the head of that. So very swaggy player, so smooth at third base. He's locked in. Guys, this Padres team is sitting where they are right now with an incredible record, 37-24, without their best player. Tatis is nowhere to be found. This is incredible. Like if their starters can continue to go out there and give quality starts like they have been, watch out for this Padres team. 100%. They're legit. They don't even have Tatis back yet, guys. This is Cronenworth's going. We knew he was going to come back. That dude's a baller. They're starting to play well. Like not even starting. They've been playing well all freaking year. They're getting results from a lot of starters that we didn't expect. Musgrove being number 1. I mean, we knew he was good, but gosh, we didn't know he was this good. They look great. Watch out for the Padres.
100%.
Watch out. I can't stop looking at this Nats line, man. It's so sketch.
It is.
Everything about it's sketch. Where it was originally set at, it's sketch. Now it's even more with the reverse line movement down to minus 145. Guys, the Braves have won 11 games in a row. And Josiah Gray, everyone knows the dude stinks at home. Everyone knows the Nats offense stinks at home. They're playing a team that's won 11 games in a row, and they're only plus 125. I don't understand this one bit, man.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense at all. I mean, I think if you're looking for the Nats too, it's probably a pretty good sign that over/under is going up as well. I think it's up at 10 now.
It's set at 10, guys.
Yeah,
it's set at 10.
At 9.5, I think we're at open. Yeah,
the wind's not even blowing out. I think we're getting offense today in DC.
We should.
I think honestly, both offenses are going to get going against two pitchers who are in bad spots.
Yeah, and I mean, I think always the line of thinking when you're thinking of taking a team, you like a spot for a team, but you can't fade them. Look for that Nationals team total. I'm looking to see what it is, but it's at 4.5 for plus money. I mean, if you're looking to back the Nats without trying to fade the Braves, I think that's the perfect spot for it because I think there's going to be plenty of runs in this game. I am probably a certified Ian Anderson fader. I don't believe in the guy one bit. He has zero control, a lot of control issues, and against the Nats team that doesn't strike out, it's a good spot for them.
My guy gassing up Luis Arias. I wonder who was talking about him a week and a half ago when we were going over most underrated players in baseball. The dude's a freak. That dude just doesn't get out. He does not get out. He's unbelievable. Yeah. Okay. How about this Pirates-Cardinals game? Are you back in Mitch Keller today? Do you have the cojones?
I want to. I'm not sure that I will, but yeah, I mean, I'm in the club with Ollie. I think Mitch Keller is a lot better than people think. And alternate Zach Thompson starting for the Cardinals with a K. I would lie if I say I knew everything about this guy, but I like Mitch Keller. I like the Pirates. Will I take them? Maybe, maybe not. But it seems like a decent spot for them. I haven't looked too much into it, so I'll probably be continuing to do that throughout the day.
Okay. Chat, do you guys want Javon to go over some of his prize picks he likes today? Is that something you guys would like? Let me know. I can't tell if you guys are interested in that or not. Let's see if they want to hear about that or not. I couldn't tell.
It's a pretty thin board today, to be honest.
It is. But like you said, a lot of trappy lines. I'll be going. I'll have some MLB plays today for sure. But Javon, let the people know, what are you liking today on prize picks?
Yeah, so I mean, I know that it's pretty square, but I think there's no spot you can go wrong with any of the guys' total bases on the Blue Jays. Vladdy, Springer, Bichette. I think I like Bichette the most. I think it's in his – he has the best matchup here. I like what he's been doing lately. I wouldn't mind his fantasy score either, just because he's the guy with the stolen base upside. But it's not like a complicated read. I think they light up Bradish today. Bradish has not been pitching well. He's been pitching a little better recently, but he's still got the stuff that I think the Jays hitters can take advantage of. Plus matchup against the Piss Arsenal, everything's there. So if I had to go with one, I would probably go Bichette. But my favorite prop of the day will probably end up being that Cole Calhoun one. It's on the books, which sucks that they don't have it on Prize Picks, but he's never a guy that's offered on Prize Picks. But I just think you're getting too much value there with how he has performed against Javier, specifically against that fastball, which he usually struggles against this season and previous season. So that's probably my favorite one. And then Bichette would be the favorite one on Prize Picks.
Okay. Yeah, usually a good sign when you see a prop that you want to take and it's not on Prize Picks, right? Do you agree with that? It's usually a pretty good sign, or where's your head at with that?
Usually when it's like a guy that's typically listed, like a Ty France or like another guy like that. But like Cole Calhoun's pretty much never offered. So I'm indifferent to him not being listed. The only time I've ever seen him listed is for runs and RBI, which if he had that today, I would take that, but he doesn't.
And what's usually like your most profitable, way to put out a Prize Picks? Is it just the 2-teamer dreamer, 2 guys, cut the shit, don't get cute? Is that where you've had the most success, I'm assuming? Yeah,
I think I usually, depending on the amount of plays I like for the day, I just like to throw them all in a bunch of different combination of 2-teamers, especially the runs and RBI one, because there's so much value on that prop from Prize Picks, because I've talked about it before. Like if you have guys that are in like a really favorable spot, like at the top of the lineup, or an offense that's going to score runs, like their 2-score run prop for even some of them is going to be, even money or lower. So I think when you get that combined with the look of the RBI, that's a lot of value on those props. So that's particularly why I like to hone in on that section. Today in that runs and RBI section, there's a lot of guys on there that are pretty hot, but not in great spots in the lineup, aka Jake Berger, a couple of other guys on here, but I just think you get too much value on those props, and I like to kind of just eliminate the payouts and flex payouts, or having to count on so many of them, and just go for the 2-teamers. I think that's the easiest way to go about it.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. It's not flashy, it's not fun, right? You're not sending a 5-piece hole to fry like we've been crafting up. It's a 2-piece, right? It's not exciting. But guys, I mean, if it hits, it hits. And you obviously have the best statistical odds of hitting the Prize Picks when you're only putting 2 guys in there. It's not rocket science, right?
Somebody did also just say, and I just looked, and I was shocked because that wasn't up when I looked at it last night, but Calhoun does have a fantasy score now, which is definitely interesting.
Okay.
But
okay.
I'd play that just because I have 2 total bases, and the score is 6. So 2 total bases, you got to push that at least anyway. So
it's at 6 for now until Prize Picks changes it after you said that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd definitely recommend playing that now that it's up.
Okay.
I think you get decent value on playing another book as well for that plus money.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I do not disagree. Any Nationals up there today that you were shocked to see?
Not shocked to see, but I think like Juan Soto's really high. Not that he's not typically, getting the Juan Soto tax of the 8.5 fantasy score, but Josh Bell is also up for runs and RBI, which in this matchup with the runs we expect from their offense, that's not a bad look. I think I have to look a little deeper into that one, but I'm likely going to be playing that. But yeah, I
Josh
think
Bell.
yeah, Josh Bell runs an RBI. Just
I get behind that.
I'll be looking into it, but I think there's a lot of guys that I think you could just take stabs on in this runs an RBI category, just because they're kind of fun guys to back. I'm not promoting irresponsible betting, but depending on the weather in this Cubs Padres game, I think Morel would be a good look. You got two guys that are, just home run hitters that are going to be fun to back, like Berger and Jesus Aguilar is up here, who I've never seen. Brandon Drury's also up here. Definitely giving a look to your boy Luis Arias too, depending on that Twins lineup that comes out.
Base hit machine. Base hit machine. He has at bats that's. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying everybody's asking about Bichette. It's 1.5 total bases, not the fantasy score.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. I like those props way better than the fantasy scores anyways. The fantasy score props scare me a little bit.
Well, like I'll probably be taking
like
Bichette's just because, because I mentioned his fantasy score just because he has that stolen base upside. Like for certain guys like that, like I take that with him. I took that with Kevin Kiermaier yesterday just because he does his thing, and he was at 7.5 for some unforsaken reason. And of course, he gets 20 plus. But I don't hate either of those. I'm just going to go with the 1.5 total bases to kind of simplify it, but I don't hate either.
Sure. Well, you just let me know what buttons you're pushing, because I'm pushing them too. We'll sync up. I don't know if you're available to run spaces later with me, but I'm trying to get down and dirty and give out another winner.
Yeah.
100%. Okay. Going to bring on my guy, Slop, here in a minute. I'm super stoked to have him on, pick his brain. And Javon, I want you to stay on too, because this guy loves props, and you're my prop guy too. So would love to see, you guys go back and forth with processes and stuff like that. But real quick, if you guys are looking for a new sports book, looking for some promos or free bets, go over to thegameday.com. They've got a ton of promos and free, deposit matches, risk-free bets, stuff like that. They'll tell you what's available in your state, and drop a follow on @thegameday on social media as well. Worth the follow. They post some good content. So really excited to get my guy Slop up here. I'm going to bring him up. What's going on, my man?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Doing well. Really excited to have you on. I've been following you for a while. Great content, great tweets, and you've been killing it with the props. So I really appreciate you coming on here, my man.
Hey, thanks for having me. What jersey you got there? What is that?
Are you a football guy? Do you take a guess? So it's a Washington Commanders, I guess now, but jersey number 5. Do you know who rocks number 5 on the Commanders?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's our punter, Tress Way, our best player.
Oh, nice. He's a very important piece of what they do.
100%. We punt a lot. We use him
on
the
field quite a bit. Yeah, no, it's smart. Hey, if you're gonna pay the man, you might as well have him play.
They did pay him. Yeah, he's great. Me and my friends always joke. Because we're just so bad every year, and we're so negative with how we watch the team. It's not our fault. It's their fault.
No,
so
you're
we get over it, and we deal with it by shitting on the team. So whenever we see our guy Tress Way get out there, we say, get our best player out there on the field. We want our best player out there making moves.
Honestly, that's a low-key way to kind of hate on your team is by getting the punter's jersey. That's pretty smart, actually. That's genius, really.
I appreciate it. I really thought this one out. Yeah, that's my guy. So Slop, give the people a rundown of, where they can find your content, what you're doing, what you like betting on. For the viewers here who aren't familiar with you, your Twitter's right there too, and you're next to your name, but what's good? What have you been doing? Where do you write up? What do you like betting on? What's your little story?
I like props. Try to gamble every day.
Sure.
And I write for oddschecker.com.
Okay.
They're a site that you can, compare odds at different books. There's different tools that they're getting now, so it's definitely an up-and-coming site. They've got some great handicappers over there. We do write-ups daily for, the picks we like. I do a strikeout, kind of a lineup watch list on that site, which is always pretty good. Just doing strikeout props. You want to know, which guys you're looking for when the lineups get released, stuff like that. And that's it. No, just find me on Twitter too @SlopRules.
100%. I got my guy Javon on here, who's really big into the props too. Slop, you ever dabble with the Prize Picks? Are you familiar with that platform?
Yeah, no, I do like Prize Picks. I've been staying at DraftKings with just because I'm in Massachusetts, I can go across the border to New Hampshire. Just bet on their props there, just single props. But Prize Picks was something I was doing a lot in football season with running back, reception, stuff like that. They'd give you a nice little like 1.5 lines and stuff like that. So I mean, you get a running back, 3 of them that catch 2 passes, you just won. But for baseball, it's tough. I only do pitcher strikeouts. So I heard Javon talking about the batters. Man, you're a psychopath. Like, that's so hard, man. That is crazy hard.
He's weirdly sharp with them, though.
I know. I mean, the guys that can hit him, I'm always like just impressed because I'm like, I'm so bad at him, like every time. But so hats off to you. But with Prize Picks, I don't know if you ever check out their strikeout wins. They're pretty close to, you know what I mean, like what the line really is. So I don't know. Maybe if you get like a 4.5 minus 150 line, and then you see it on Prize Picks 4.5. If you can find like 3 of those, maybe you take that. But if sometimes you'll see like 4.5, like for Kyle Bradish, 4.5 plus 120 on DraftKings, and then you go to Prize Picks and it's 4.5, and you're just like, all right, well, there's no real value parlaying.
Maybe lean under,
guys. Yeah, but exactly. But then it's like, then I'm taking an under, so I don't want to do that. So
not an under guy.
No. I'd rather lose than take the under. To be honest with you, yeah,
I love it.
Yeah. Well, I know you're a big strikeout guy. I've seen some of it. Do you ever dabble in strikeout ladder, like laddering guys strikeout props? Because I've seen guys who dabble in that say there's a lot of value there.
Yeah, that's the way. I mean, think about it like this: if a guy can get 5 strikeouts, why couldn't he get 7? You know what I mean? Like if the lineup's breaking that way, you got the right ump behind the plate. Whatever it is, that can happen. Like there's a guy tonight, Zach Thompson, going for the Cardinals against the Pirates. The Pirates are one of the worst strikeout teams against lefties, and this Thompson kid's getting his first start. They want like 6 strikeouts is like plus 400. I mean, why wouldn't he get 6? I mean, we're talking about a 30% guy in the minor leagues. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like, why not try to ladder that? Like, why wouldn't you at least try it?
Do you know what his actual prop is sitting at today?
3.5. It was like minus 130 this morning. I bet that goes up. I don't know what it is right now. I mean, that was probably 3 hours ago. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to go up throughout the day. But yeah, just little stuff like that, Javon. Like that's what you're looking at. Like a guy that is sitting in the 3.5 range, and all you really ask him to do is get 6. Like that's not setting a record. That's not even like that good. Like 6 strikeouts is 6 strikeouts. But the books don't really have a way to price the guy. Yeah.
You can't price the newbies. There's serious value, just like betting the first week of a season, right? There's just added value there because the books are figuring their shit out too. We've noticed that as well. But it goes both ways. So I saw your tweet last night. You thought you were interviewing with Booking with Trent. Yeah. Unfortunately, you're stuck with me and Javon here today. So
I was kind of hoping I'd be with you guys. No offense, Trent.
But yeah, no, you got us. You're stuck with us. So appreciate you coming on, though.
My pleasure.
I'm also boys with your co-host on one of your shows, Dead Prez Picks.
I like that guy. Yeah.
Via Twitter, that dude's awesome. He gave me some ammo to talk with you about. So apparently you're a pretty good bowler from what I've been hearing. Are you like Mookie Betts-esque? He told me to ask you about your bowling game.
I'm a little bit under him. Like I've never thrown a 300, but I got a 299 like a couple months ago. So there was that, but I'm still not a 300 guy. So I'm still amateur. Yeah. Yep. I still got something to work for. You know what I mean?
100%. That's good. Yeah. You stay at 299 and then that's why you work the rest of your life to hit it. Because
exactly.
Once you hit 300, like what's even the point?
I think you just go there and drink beers and gamble after that. You know, there's really nothing left for you to accomplish.
That also plays.
Which is fun too. Like you can do that while you're bowling too. So I mean, any way you look at it, you're gonna be fine. But just don't hit the 300 too soon.
Yeah, you gotta let it sit for a little bit. Give you something to work for. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely love it. He also told me to ask about your Slim Shady tattoo. Are you a big are you a big Eminem guy? Just like we all were growing up.
All right, so it was like I think 1996, and I was playing basketball. And that was my nickname was on the team was Slim. So you turn 18, great idea would be to get Slim tattooed on my chest. So I did. I mean, it's just a great decision by an 18-year-old. So now, go on like a year or two. and raves are pretty big down in Florida, so that's where I'm at. So now I got like bleach blonde hair.
Okay.
And whatever, you're doing your thing. There's this guy that comes out, Eminem, he's called, and he has a song called "The Real Slim Shady." And dude had like he's a skinny white guy, just like me, and he looked like exactly like me, and he's called Slim Shady. So now everyone's starting to call me that. Now it's turning out to be like, hey, you must be a real big fan if you got his name tattooed on you and like you dress like him. And I'm just like, dude, I didn't know this guy existed. You know what I mean? Like this guy came out of nowhere. And so I figured he would just like burn out a little bit. But then he didn't. He turns out he was awesome. And he's like in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So I ended up just having to shave my head just to kind of help out with that. So there was no more bleach blonde hair. So that helped. But that was a tough couple of years for me. Yeah. Tough couple of years for me. Eminem really, he came out of nowhere.
Stole your thunder.
And then just stayed around though. Like what are the odds that the guy would literally just be around for like 30 years?
He's just one of the biggest rap legends of all time.
Yeah.
The odds are
no
not
big
great.
Deal. Yeah.
Great value on that happened. Serious plus value there.
Oh yeah. You would have got paid for that.
Cash it.
But yeah, so I ended up with a good haircut out of the deal. I just kept shaving it after that. It's pretty easy to have a shaved head.
Hey, you're a man of your word, right? To this day, you're still shaving it for Eminem. So
yeah,
I appreciate it. A man of integrity. Yes. Love having guys like that on here.
Correct.
Okay. Well, you said you're from Massachusetts. Is that where you're chilling up there currently, or?
Well, I'm from Florida, but I do live in Massachusetts now. Tewksbury. Okay. It's about I don't know, 20 minutes away from Boston, maybe more with traffic.
I love Boston. Used to be a Boston sports fan. I'm in Virginia now. Javon's down there in Texas. Although I think he's in. Are you still in Tampa right now, Javon?
Yeah, I'm still in Tampa.
What are you doing in Tampa?
Florida guy.
I'm from Tampa.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was more of an Orlando guy, not a big Tampa guy. War on I-4, right? You're at the other end of it.
Yep, just a little bit.
We can still be friends, though, Javon. It's fine.
I don't hate people from Orlando. It's just like that going to the city is just not my thing.
Yeah, no, I didn't like going to Tampa, but I judge Tampa by Ybor City, which is kind of messed up because it's not really Tampa. So that's my bad, but I still judge you guys negatively for Ybor City. I mean, it's too close. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
I think you know what I mean. Like it's just, And then the Lightning keep winning too, which pisses me off. So there's a lot of things that happen bad with Tampa.
Yeah.
Hey,
not your fault though.
Yeah, of course.
It's okay. You can let the people know that you're just a big Disney World guy and you just want to be as
I won't
close
lie
to the park as possible.
We go to Disney all the time. I got kids now, so you gotta take them to Disney. Disney's actually a great place for adults to get hammered at while they're hanging out with their kids. Yeah, like people don't realize that.
Isn't there like an all around the world like Epcot drinking game where you're supposed to try like 100 of their drinks? That's something that I could definitely get behind.
I mean, it's not quite 100, but I mean, you can try to get to 100, but like
we can make it 100.
Yeah, it's like drink around the world. They have the countries. You stop at each country, get a drink, and keep walking.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just like I said, it's just a place to go get hammered with your kids, and you don't have to drive, because they have public transportation. So you literally it's really a vacation, to be honest with you.
For sure, I don't hate.
Just that you're walking around the whole time, though. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, well, you're burning cows. That's good. You're drinking beers and you're burning them off, walking around. So, love it.
Smart.
You said, yeah, it is. It's a business decision. You said, gosh, you got some kids now and stuff. But back in the day, you ever have a girl leave you for your gambling habits? You ever have a girl say, "I'm not about it"?
No, I would leave them before that would ever happen.
For sure, yeah. Not the girl you're looking for.
No, I mean it's just a bad fit.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, it could be a great girl, but just not for me.
Could be, not for you.
But yeah. I would. There's no excuse for that. If someone leaves you for that, then you messed up because you should have already left.
That's
you should
facts.
sniff that out.
That's on you.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely love it. You go out to Vegas at all? Are you a Vegas guy?
No, I've been to Vegas once. My thing with that is like, what do you gotta like? Why would you have to go out there anymore? And even before it was like, by the time we got phones with locals, then you really don't need a book in the desert. You know what I mean?
That's very fair.
I don't know. Like by the time I was thinking about going out there, I was already too old, so I kind of missed it. Because I was in Florida already, and we had pool parties and beaches and stuff like that. So there was no allure there. And then by the time I was really going, I was like 30 years old. I was like, I'm way too old for that. I missed it.
Hey, that works.
Mhm.
You're right though.
It
I mean,
happens.
now you're like right down the street from me. I can drive over to Maryland. I'm in Virginia, right outside of DC now, but could drive right across, 15-minute drive over to MGM National Harbor and sit there at the adult movie theater. They got a sports book in there too. So, shit, I'm thinking about driving in there tonight for the finals.
Yeah.
Great
No,
viewing
you're all. I
experience.
mean, you're all set. You know, there's
Yeah.
really
What more do
there's
you
no
need?
need to be flying out to the desert just to gamble, just because you can just gamble wherever you are now, pretty much.
Trent's probably so butthurt right now. He's living in Vegas and listening to this, by crying.
Ah, poor
But
Trent. It happens. It happens.
he'll be all right.
Somebody's got to be holding that bag, you know, the Vegas bag.
That's
well be
facts.
Trent.
Someone's got to be out there.
Mhm.
I mentioned NBA briefly, and I know we talk mainly about MLB on here, but very curious. Any leans tonight? Are you got any props for the game tonight? Where's your head at in this game?
So far, it's pretty irresponsible bet, but it's Robert Williams over 2.5 assists at FanDuel. It's like plus 880.
Ooh.
So I mean, I don't see why the guy wouldn't have a shot at getting 3 assists again. He had 4 the other night. He had like 9 potentials. He's done 3 multiple times throughout the season. If Looney plays more, or if Looney plays like 30 minutes again or close, Williams will probably still be on the floor. So again, that's more of a lotto ticket, but at the same time, like, that's not that dumb. You know what I mean? Like it's one that's like, Robert Williams 3 assists is kind of a lot, but then you see plus 880 and like, all right, I'm in. It's good enough for me.
Yeah. Hey, I say it all the time. All you gotta do is click the right buttons. The buttons are on there. There's some plus 1,000 buttons that'll hit tonight. You just gotta find them. You gotta hunt them. You gotta click them. You gotta hit submit. That's all. That's all there is to it, man. You
Don't
just
be
gotta
afraid
click the
to
right
hit
button.
submit.
Don't be afraid. Hey, scared
Don't be
money don't
afraid to
make
hit
money.
submit. No, it never
Scared money
will.
don't make money.
Never will. That's been a fact ever since I was a kid.
Yeah. When did you first start betting?
I don't even know. Probably I was like maybe 18, 19 years old.
Okay.
Buddy of mine had parlay cards, and that was just the end of it. You know, like it was like you just had a card.
What is that?
So
for someone a little younger.
All right. So this was like in the late 90s. There was a dude he was a bartender at my work, right? And he had these parlay cards. So he would just hand them to you. You would fill it out, and then, you kept half, I think, and then like you ripped off the bottom half and handed that back with the money, and then that was it. Like that was how you bet, just because there was really not a lot of internet gambling wasn't too big yet.
Right.
And then, or you had like a bookie, but like when you're like a 17, 18, 19-year-old kid, like you didn't really have bookies.
Right.
The parlay cards were the way. And that was it. And then from there, it just turned into just degeneracy for like 10 years. It was awesome.
Sure.
Probably some of the best years ever. Mm-hmm.
Any crazy gambling stories you had, whether it's sports betting or hitting a casino, anything you want to let the people know? Let the people know you're legit?
Nothing really crazy. The Mike Vick run against the Vikings cashed a 3-team parlay for me.
Okay.
I was at the Ale House on University in Orlando. I'll never forget it. And the first 2 bets had already cashed. That game went to overtime. And back then they used to just play for the field goal, like legit. Like they didn't try to score a touchdown. So you were just thinking, all right, I'll cash this at 2, but they should have cashed. You know what I mean? It was one of those games where you're like, damn, I just lost, and that shouldn't happen. He took off. He's running. Like one of my buddies is standing on the table. Like we got tossed for real. But like I had $100 on a 3-team parlay. That was a big deal back then.
Yeah, 100%.
I was going to get $600 and in time to bet the 4 o'clocks. So I was pretty fired up, and that was a great day. Every time I see that highlight, I just think of my buddy standing on the table and just like, this is worth it. Like we're going to definitely get tossed for this, but who cares?
It is what it is.
I mean, yeah, we'll be back. We actually we went there every Sunday. So before we were allowed to go back, me and my buddy had to literally sit down and talk to the manager and promise that we wouldn't do that anymore.
It happens, bro.
But we were allowed back, and it was a great guy. His name was Sean. And yeah, shout out Sean. Nice work, bro. Thank you.
Shout out Vic.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mike Vick. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
I mean, he pretty much did the whole thing.
My first ever NFL game I ever went to was the Eagles versus the Redskins back in the day. This was probably like 10 years ago, maybe even a little bit more. Michael Vick, first pass of the game, 80-yard touchdown.
Was that like the
Deshaun
35-0 in the second quarter?
Got stomped. I think it was Mike Vick's like highest rated game of all time. It was in his second stint after the whole jail stuff. The dude was unbelievable.
I played him in fantasy that week, like against him. It's like,
Wow.
and I think that was like a Monday night game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a Thursday night
like
game, I think.
Yeah, so it was just like, dude, this is just not how I want to start this. Like that, I remember that whole
Shit's
first
dropped.
quarter. I'm like, man, this sucks. And it literally was like 35-0 before like this. Like it was like second quarter, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was an absolute dick kicking in. Was what
Yeah.
it was.
Did you leave
terrible.
early?
I don't think so. So it was a big deal. Like I told you, it was my first football game ever. My dad took me to it. He was a Skins fan growing up. So he was kind of excited to get me out. I think I was literally like 10 years old, some shit like that.
That's fun.
He got like these crazy passes where before the game we got to walk on the field or whatever. So I think we stuck through the whole thing just because it was like my first, NFL game. But I'm sure he was he was not very happy.
Yeah, no, and you stuck with the Redskins after that?
Yeah, I mean, gosh, I don't have a choice, my dude. One of these days, maybe when I'm like 60 or 70, they'll be okay. But they need a new owner. They need a lot of new stuff. New stadium.
Yeah.
I was a Raiders fan for like 30 years, and then
You quit?
gambling just like stopped. Like I don't even care anymore about any team really. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
I don't watch like a fan anymore. So maybe that can happen to you. Is all I'm saying.
I've
Like,
heard a
maybe
lot
you
of people.
won't have to-
A lot of people I've talked to who've been in the industry for a little longer than me have said that they've, they all have their hometown teams, right? You got your teams that you like, but as time goes on, you become fans of a bunch of other teams, right? A team that wins you a bunch of money. You're rooting for them.
I just don't care.
That's how it goes.
About the
Yeah,
Raiders. I used to only watch their games. Like to be honest with you, like I'd go like to the bars and like you would be just there to watch
Right.
the Raiders because like you're in Florida. But then I came up here. Everyone likes the Patriots. So I'm like, all right, well, they're always on TV, so they're kind of your team, but I don't care when they, you know what I mean? Like I just don't care anymore about that.
Right.
So that happened. So there's hope for
Yeah.
you. I guess that's what I'm trying to say is there's hope that you won't have to wait until you're 60.
Yeah, maybe I could just start rooting for good teams that are making me money. That's what a smart person would do.
Start doing prop bets and like you legit don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened to me. You're only into players.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. That's what Javon's been doing, making a ton of money for the squad, doing props. Are there any MLB props you're liking today? I know it's kind of a sketchy board, but anything you like on this Monday, get the week started right.
Brady Singer later against the Giants over 4.5 is like that's kind of juiced up right now. But if you wanted to do 6+, that's like plus 140 something.
Okay.
If you wanted to do 7+, it's like plus 330. So I mean. You could get wild. And plus it's a late game. So if you already know what happened in your NBA bet, then maybe you toss a little change on the 7+.
Sure. Roll it over.
Yeah.
Roll it over.
Yep.
Love it. Gosh, what's like your methodology to, how you go about picking your props? I don't want you to spill your secret sauce or anything, but would love to see where your head's at when you're like picking a guy off the board. Like, how did you come to Brady Singer, who most guys are like auto fade? Me as a contrarian, I love it. But like, where's your head at?
It's opponent first.
Okay.
So you're looking at the Giants. You're like, all right, I'm trying to think. I'm pulling it up right now. I think in the last week they've been striking out a lot. Yeah. So we're 56 strikeouts, 191 at bats. That's kind of what you're looking for.
That's a lot of strikeouts.
Yeah, that's a lot. So then you go to their team numbers and look at the last week's strikeout percentages and try to figure out like what's happening. Like why are they striking out so much in the last week? They've got some guys coming back. Ruff came back. He's been striking out a ton. Scrimsey's been striking out a lot. I'm trying to think. The Slater kid strikes out a lot. You start to realize that there's like 7 guys in this lineup that you can reasonably think might strike out, right?
Yeah.
Like on the opposite side, if you ever watch these games, like let's say you take the Rockies, like Blackman's probably not striking out, and then you get to the next guy, he's probably not striking out. Before you realize it, you're like, why did I bet this? You know what I mean? There's like 3 guys that might strike out. Well, this is the flip side of that. This is where everybody that shows up at the plate, you're like, this is a 20+% guy. Like he could go down easy right now. So, and then you go for the pitcher. Then you start looking at his number. Like, what do we got? What are we working with here? Like, is this guy just not going to strike anyone out? Like what's the problem? Sometimes you can look and see their game logs, and you'll find out they've been playing like the Nationals. They don't strike out. And the time before that was the Royals. Like they don't strike out. And then before you realize it, you're like, oh, well, this guy's he plays someone that stinks. Like he might get 5 or 6 Ks. And then there you are.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Hearing your methodology of how you go about it, and that makes complete sense. What you just went through. So, and I'm with you. That's actually surprising. You bring up how much the Giants have stricken out recently. That's ridiculous. Hopefully you can smack that one. Your guy gets 10 strikeouts tonight. No sweater. Yeah. Gosh. So I know we've got like 5 minutes ish. I want to know from someone who's, been in the gambling space for a couple years now, have you noticed that the lines are getting a little sharper and that the books are getting smarter now that they're using all these freaking crazy algorithms that we don't even know what's going on behind the scenes? But have you noticed over time that lines have become sharper? I was listening to a podcast a couple months ago on the Action Network, and they were talking about how it's way harder these days, especially, in the middle and towards the end of seasons, to find value because the lines are set so accurately and so right. Have you noticed that, as time has gone on, have the sports books really gotten that much sharper?
I think they've always been sharp, but at the end of the day, like that's probably why I went to player props, is because it was too tough to beat the sides and totals. And I can imagine that must be even harder now. Because, I mean, they have more information. They have, everybody's betting tendencies. They can flag accounts. They know when a sharp guy gets down, stuff like that. So, yeah, who knows? Like I said, they've always been sharp. So you always want to look for markets that are kind of niche, and try and hit them there. Just find different attack surfaces, really, just because they are sharp. But they've always been. I don't know how much sharper they are now than they were, but
right.
They've always been building casinos. You know what I mean? Like,
I always joke that Vegas wasn't built on Dodgers minus 300. Right?
No,
it just wasn't.
No.
If bets like that hit, if it was that easy, we wouldn't be sitting here. We'd be on our own private island.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So they're going to get theirs. Their business too, for better or for worse. So always like asking people that question who've been around the block for a little bit. Gosh, not a Vegas guy. I was shocked. I thought I was about to talk a little bit of Vegas with you.
No, I mean, dude, I was too old, man. It was like, I don't know. Like, it's like picking up a drug habit when you're in like your 30s. Like you just missed it. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to do that. Same thing with Vegas. Like you're probably not going to go out there a lot when you got a family at home. Like that was definitely like a 22, 23, 24, in that range. So then, so by the time I went out there, I was like, I'm way too old for this shit. But it would have been awesome.
100%. You would have torn that place up. You probably wouldn't be welcome back. You had a funny story about getting kicked out of that bar. Me and my buddies were in Vegas last year at Circa. I don't know if you saw, but they've got this crazy like pool viewing experience out there where they have like the biggest TV on earth in front of a giant pool.
Yep.
We were all on Virginia Tech week 1 of the college football season. Because we all went to VT. That's my alum.
Okay.
And we were going nuts when they won. Obviously, we all had money line and spread tickets in our pockets. We were like jumping in the pools. We were obviously pretty tossed, and we got the boot. So, hey, you got to. It's part of the game, right? You get really excited. You hit a couple bets. Next thing you know, you're getting escorted out of the place. But it's all about the experience. The bet cash. That's all that matters. They can kick me out all they want.
And don't get taken out in cuffs. Like as long as you get taken out in cuffs, you're good.
Cuffs.
Yeah, that's the way I always see it.
It was respectable. They knew the ticket we hit. They knew we were rich.
Yeah.
It was a mutual decision, is what I'll call
it. Exactly. Everyone knew that maybe it was time to go home, or just somewhere else.
Yeah. The party did not stop. That's a fact.
Should.
Yeah. No, it really shouldn't. To be honest with you.
Well, Slop, I appreciate you coming on here, my dude. This was awesome. I would love to do this again at some points. And maybe talk a little bit more in depth about some props that you'd like when we have a better MLB card. But I really appreciate you guys coming on. Javon, you as well. Where can people find you if they're trying to find your articles, Slop? I guess that's your at right there next to your name.
Twitter. Yep. Just follow me on Twitter. I post out every one of them. So you'll see a link.
Awesome.
Or just go to OddsChecker.
Yeah. Great websites. Hopefully your guy Robert Williams is throwing some dimes today.
Man,
that bet is so crazy.
That would
so
be
crazy. It just might work.
Mm-hmm.
It just
I
might
always say
work.
it's not that dumb.
No.
Like, I've done dumber things with money. Put it that way.
For sure. Yeah, we all have.
I think we all have. Yeah.
I've seen crazier things than a player getting 3 assists in a game. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, you might have to double down.
Exactly.
I love it, my man. Absolutely love it. Thank you for coming on.
Hey, my pleasure.
We
Thanks
will
for
have to
having
do
me.
this again, my man. I really do appreciate it.
We will.
For sure. Good luck tonight. Let's go Robert Williams. Let's go Celtics.
Do it.
Yep.
All right, Javon, that was awesome. It was cool to hear him kind of talk about his pitching stuff, and he was geeking about you doing your hitting props. I think people are pretty impressed from what you've been doing on Prize Picks, my man. You got to keep doing it. Don't change shit. Don't change shit, because you've been sharp as a tack. We'll have to run back a Prize Picks today on this sketchy card because I think people are going to be scared to take MLB sides today.
Yeah, I mean, as bad as the sides, like the card as far as sides goes, I mean, the props are not that much better, to be honest with you. So, I mean, I'll be keeping it pretty slim, but I mean, there's a couple spots I like, but keeping it to a minimum for the most part.
For sure. For sure. Any party notes you want to give the people on a Monday to get them going, get them happy, get them excited? For anyone who was out there losing money this past weekend or last week, guys, new week, fresh start today. It's Monday. Let's attack the books. Javon, any parting words for people who want more Javon? They're hungry.
So definitely tune into the spaces. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it today, but I mean, we do them most days of the week, and they're like even like I post a slip of what we collectively come up with, but just from listening in there, like I get so many slips of just different combinations of stuff that's either in the slip or not in the slip, or there's so many winners thrown out in there. And like, it's not just me, it's not just Krabs, it's not just Ollie. It's a bunch of guys that come in and give lots of good information, lots of good picks. So like, there's so many winners thrown around in those spaces. Like, tune into those because you will make money. Like, there's plenty of money to be made. There's free squares on Prize Picks that people are giving out. So like, definitely tune into those. Definitely tune into both of our Twitters. We'll be giving out picks and everything, and definitely turn into the stream, and we'll be reiterating and adding some more to that.
100%. I always say it's way easier to hit a Prize Picks or a parlay when, everyone's bringing one prop or one play instead of one person having to craft up, 5 plays. That's pretty unrealistic. But if everyone comes and brings their best play, it gives us a goddamn chance. And that's all we're asking for. We're not asking for the whole thing.
Yeah. Especially because, like, with hitter props, which are a majority of what's on Prize Picks, you can't get an angle on every single hitter. Like, it's not possible. So when you have guys that are focused in on, a couple that catch their eye and they look deeper into it, like, it's easier to have a bunch of eyes on a different, 9 guys available in each lineup. So when you have guys collaborating on that, it makes things a whole lot easier, for sure.
Communication is key, Javon. We're in this together, my man. Us against the
100%.
books. Us against the books. Well, I appreciate you coming on, my dude. Excited to hear what you're giving out on Trent's stream, and I'll be on there later as well to go over the MLB card. Chat, we'll be seeing. Hope you enjoyed my guy Slop coming on here and giving some wisdom. Some guy who's been around the block a little bit. Funny ass dude. So cool to have him on for a little bit. I appreciate all you guys. We're going to run this back. We got some great guests this week. As always, Javon will be here at the helm going over, Prize Picks and everything. So I appreciate it. Let's have a Monday. Let's start the week off right. Let's get some winners going. Let's get the juices flowing. Winners today only, quality over quantity. I've been preaching it over the weekend. Quality over quantity. I'm going to have 3 plays this afternoon. We're going 2-1 or better. Super stoked. Javon, we'll be seeing, my man.
Yep. Be careful today, everybody.
Be careful. Sketchy card. Trent, take us home, brother. Take us home.